Welcome back to my shed. Thanks for coming. We're looking at my Sony amplifier again today. If you haven't seen it, part one, I'll leave a link for it up here. This was an amp I bought off eBay. Sold as faulty with no display. So in part one I fixed the display part of it. It turned out to be a broken circuit board. But then once that was fixed, there was no sound. So that's what this video is going to try and address today. Okay, so here it is. This is the Sony stereo receiver STR-DH190. You don't need to watch me take it apart. It's just 3 screws on the side here, 2 screws on the back. If you do want to watch that again, just watch the first video. Right, so here we are. This area here is where the crack was. So you'll see most of the repair from the other side of the board. But yeah, it was this sort of area. So I think we know we're getting power to the display panel. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just have a look at the outputs from the transformer. Just make sure we're getting voltage in these 2 areas here. So I'll switch on. Okay, so we know the main power is coming in because the display's on and it's connected. So let's have a look what's coming out of the transformer. I'm going to put my first probe up here onto ground. I'll go into continuity. This middle wire here should be ground. I'll take it that's ground anyway because that's black. And then go into DC voltage. Then 0 and 0. That's the ground wire. 0 and 0. So I'm getting nothing on this lot. So on this one, again, 7 millivolts. That's ground. 8 millivolts. So that's 5 volts. And finally, 5 volts again. So the whole output of this transformer is coming to 5 volts on these 2 wires. Okay, I'm going to try and hold this like this now and then just see what's coming off of these. With AMOS, some sort of MOSFET. So it's labelled up as leg number 3. That's coming out at 3 millivolts. The middle leg is minus 60 volts. This leg is 1 volt. Go on to the next one. Leg 1. It's nothing. Middle 60. In the end, 1.1. That's 0. 60. 1. Almost 1.1. Finally, 0. 60. And 1.1. So that confuses me a little bit more, because if I'm not getting anything out of here, how am I getting 60 volts back here? I don't know how that's getting 60 volts. I might have to stop this and try and find a schematic. I have looked for a schematic for it, but I cannot find anything. I really don't know what I'm doing now. I didn't know what I was doing before, but I'm getting shorts everywhere now. Except on the two that's giving me 5 volts, everything is shorting. And it's dead short. Showing 1 ohm and my leads show 1 ohm. So everything is short to ground. Everything. Wow, how did I not notice that before? Right, obviously I'll cut a load of this out because it's boring. So probing around so far, what I've found is I've got 5 volts on the green and the yellow wire. Everything else, all 3 of them and all 5 of these are short to ground. So if I'm on continuity, pop it onto ground. And also, I don't know if it means anything, but the middle legs of this one and this one are short to ground, but the other 2 aren't. This one and this one, they're not. I don't know if they should be or not. If I unplug this and this, that's the ground pin. Okay, that's not short anymore. That's not short anymore. That middle one is. That one isn't. That one is. And that one isn't. These are all shorted, so it doesn't even matter where I put my probes because they're all joined together. Does that mean it's a faulty transformer? So I think it's this. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research and see what outputs are on these type of transformers. So I'm not sure how to measure it. So I'll do a bit of research on it and I'll come back and carry on. I guess you could have guessed it, but in classic me style, I've been for my dinner and I've put my microphone on charge, come back and forgotten to put it back on. So I'll cut a long story short, and after removing the transformer, I probed around, I visually inspected it, and I came to the conclusion that I needed a new one. Now, whilst looking online for a replacement, I couldn't stop coming back to the fact that when I'd plugged it in before, it had lit up. I then realised that I hadn't even tried headphones in it, so I put the transformer back in, plugged it in, put my headphones in, and they worked. I then tried plugging my speakers in to channel B, and they came to life. So now it's time to check the circuit again. So after having a quick look round, I found this annotation on the board, and then once I found the point that it refers to, I traced the track eventually to the area that I'd repaired. Now initially, after some continuity testing and checking my previous repair, I couldn't find anything out of the ordinary until I probed the track near the repair again, and it intermittently broke continuity. So after adding another jumper wire, it's time to put it back together again and test my work. Okay, so I've got a cup of tea, I've had a tidy up, I've put my mic back on, and I have put some nail varnish over the bed traces, and now I'm going to start putting it back together again. Just quickly show, just covered up any bare copper. Okay, that looks like everything. As you might have seen then, I was just holding this board up whilst I was pushing the plugs in, because there's hardly any support, and that's got to be how it broke. It must have just stuck a little bang on the corner and that would have broke it. Uh-oh. Right, I've got no confidence whatsoever in what I've just done. So I'm going to plug the speakers in to the side that was working, just to make sure it's not any more broke than what it was before. So I've put them into speakers B at the bottom. Now I'll plug it in and switch it on. So it's come on. I felt the relays click. Okay, it's connected to the phone. Okay. So we're working on speakers B, sorry. Now, let's have a look in A. They're in. And it's the selection says speaker A and speaker B, so let's just send it. Do I think it's going to work? Nah, I don't. That's fine. So I'm really pleased with that. So it turns out that my first repair was good. It was just a broken trace that I couldn't see. And then as I was fault finding, I don't know if I picked it up because of the disasters I had with recording. There was a break in a track and I found it, and then when I went to retest it, it had fixed itself. So it was very intermittent. It must have been a crack in the track rather than a break. But anyway, it could have been done in one video, but there you go. That's how it goes when I'm in my shed. Needless to say, very, very happy with that. So if you haven't seen part 1, feel free to have a look. That would have been the main repair and could have been the only repair. There's a link to it. I'll leave a link here probably. There'll be a link in the description as well. But anyway, I'll go and tell the wife we need to find 300 quid for some new speakers. And in the meantime, take care, and I'll see you next time I'm in my shed. Cheers. Bye bye.